Welcome to the Harmony of Interest Book Talks, where we explore ideas that shape our world. My name is Evan Papp, and I'm the executive producer of Empathy Media Lab that publishes content on labor, political economy, art and culture, and we're a proud member of the Labor Radio Podcast Network. Today I'm speaking with Ellen Bravo and Larry Miller about their new book, Standing Up, Tales of Struggle, published by Hardball Press. This multi-generational novel about class struggles filled with stories of workers overcoming obstacles to achieve labor solidarity in the workplace. Your experience in these many different short stories build up over 50 years of different snapshots of fictional accounts that represented different experiences in your lifetime. Could you begin by talking about your journey into social justice and labor issues?
I grew up Jewish. The Holocaust wasn't something I learned about. It was something I always knew. I grew up with it. And the idea that there were people who were silent in the face of that kind of atrocity was pretty abhorrent, and I became an activist of civil rights and anti-war, and found the women's movement. And I realized that all these things were connected, that this was a systemic problem, and that the only way to solve it was to have the people that are most impacted lead the struggle. And obviously that meant for me, for the women's movement, that we had to have movements and organizations that spoke to and were vehicles for working class women and had to be multiracial. And that's what led me to 9 to 5.
And for myself, I grew up in a working class family that was very, very progressive on issues of race. My father, during World War II, was in San Antonio, Texas, and refused to leave the section of the bus that was designated for African Americans, and got in big trouble with his superiors in the military as an individual. And so my parents just believed in righteousness. And when I left high school, I wanted to consciously get involved in activism. And so I ended up in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I got a job at Grady Hospital, the largest, at one time it was the largest hospital in the South, where the first story takes place, which is pretty much what happened, the slowdown.
And the book, Standing Up, Tales of Struggle, and the very first part of the first story is a worker who is in a hospital laundry unit that is cleaning some of the linens, and there is no worker safety, there's no PPE, and there was also a major racial component as well. Could you talk a little bit about how race is used to split the classes?
We tried to give the example of what actually happened when Nick was in the laundry. The white boss tried to talk to him and tried to separate him from the black workers, and that was not going to happen. And you can see, if you have a workplace that is divided and racially divided, it hurts everybody. It doesn't just hurt the workers of color, it hurts the white workers also. Racism is not good for anyone. And if we're really going to come together in this country, this issue of race has to be central and has to be tackled centrally.
Thank you. And Ellen, why did you want to write this book?
You know, what really sparked the book was that Larry had written these essays about people that meant a lot to him and jobs he had and organizing experience he had in the South when he was a young white kid from Wisconsin, trying to find his place in helping change the world. And there wasn't really a genre for those. And so they thought, well, maybe I could turn them into fiction, but I don't really know how to do that. And I said, well, I can help. And I had these other pieces of things that I've written that I'd love to incorporate. So we had a great time, kind of figuring out how to put this all together and tell a story. As my wonderful friend Pramila Jayapal wrote a blurb for the book that I just love. And she said, it's a love story, a tale of parenting, of friendship, of solidarity, and a wonderful depiction of people stepping into power. So that's what we really wanted to show, those moments when people understand that oppression is not inevitable and that you can do something about it if you act together with others. And we hope the book helps people see that being an activist and being part of this fight for change doesn't mean that you don't make time for yourself, for your kids, for your love, that you don't laugh. In fact, these are the opportunities that create joyous community. And we we applaud all the people that are part of it and are inspired by them and hope to see it continue to grow.
Thank you so much for writing this wonderful book that's very inspiring as well. And I think everyone needs to buy a copy of Standing Up, Tales of Struggle. And you can get it from an independent publisher, Hardball Press, or your independent bookstore. And this concludes Empathy Media Lab's Harmony of Interest Book Talks. And always remember, labor solidarity forever.